and then the one down the middle goes to the fingers. Okay? So then what's going to be on this side? What kind of action does it do? Extensor. What are these bones in here? Carpals. What's on this side? Radialis. And then there's two of them. One of them starts higher up, so it's going to be called what?
Longest.
Yeah, extensor carpi radialis longus. That's going to go to the second metacarpal, and then extensor carpi radialis brevis to the third metacarpal. Then we got one down the middle going to the fingers. What's that going to be? Extensor digitorum. And we got one coming over here to this side of the wrist. And then what's that going to be?
Ulnaris.
Extensor carpi ulnaris. So those are more superficial. And then we'll go through these. This video, I think, is going to talk about more than one muscle.
The other side of the forearm and see the wrist extensors. Here they are: extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis, and extensor carpi ulnaris. Brachioradialis, which you'll remember goes from here to here, has been removed in this dissection. Extensor carpi radialis longus arises from the lateral epicondylar ridge just below brachioradialis. Extensor radialis brevis arises from the lateral epicondyle, an origin which it shares with several other extensor muscles. They all arise together from the epicondyle and from this common extensor tendon. Extensor carpi ulnaris arises from the lateral epicondyle. It also has an ulnar head, which arises from this border of the ulna. As the extensor tendons cross the back of the wrist, they pass under this structure, the extensor retinaculum, which acts as a pulley. Extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis are inserted on the bases of the second and third metacarpals. Extensor ulnaris on the base of the fifth metacarpal.
So basically, for the extensor carpi radialis longus is going to come from higher up on the lateral part of the humerus and then go down into the second metacarpal. Okay? Then you have extensor carpi radialis brevis, and then that's going to come down more from that common extensor tendon over here on the lateral side. Okay. And this pen's not working the greatest either. But it's going to go to the third metacarpal. As you can see it on the point. So extensor carpi radialis brevis. Longus comes from higher up here. And then brevis is going to be lower here. And then it goes to this third metacarpal versus the second metacarpal for the longus. And then we have the digitorum. It's going to come down from that same extensor tendon, and then it's going to go all the way to the fingers. So the second through the fifth, all the way to the distal phalanx. So it's going from that common extensor tendon, it's going to go down here to the distal phalanx 2 through 5.
Is it the extensor digitorum that you see
Yeah.
in the back?
Yeah, right here. Except that there's also going to be extensor indicus when we get to that one. You'll see that there's more than one tendon that goes to the index finger. We'll do that when we do palpation. Okay, so then we're moving farther along the back side here. And again, we're starting from that common extensor tendon. If I could draw it, this is where it would be. Like that. So it's going to go to the fifth base of the fifth metacarpal from that same common extensor tendon. Okay? So you're drawing it here, going to the base of the fifth metacarpal.
What's that one in the middle that goes to the last? Or all four? All four.
Yeah, well, what would you call it then if it goes to the fingers? If it's on this side, what is the action that it does? Right? What's this action? Extension. What do you call these? Digits. So it'd be extensor digitorum. And there's only one, so we don't say longus brevis, whatever. It's just extensor digitorum.
Now let's go around to the other side of the forearm.
So we're going to
see
watch
the
this
wrist
again.
extensors. Here they are. Extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis, and extensor carpi ulnaris. Brachioradialis, which you'll remember goes from here to here, has been removed in this dissection. Extensor carpi radialis longus arises from the lateral epicondylar ridge just below brachioradialis. Extensor radialis brevis arises from the lateral epicondyle, an origin which it shares with several other extensor muscles. They all arise together from the epicondyle and from this common extensor tendon. Extensor carpi ulnaris arises from the lateral epicondyle. It also has an ulnar head, which arises from this border of the ulna. As the extensor tendons cross the back of the wrist, they pass under this structure, the extensor retinaculum, which acts as a pulley. Extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis are inserted on the bases of the second and third metacarpals. Extensor ulnaris on the base of the fifth metacarpal.
Okay, so you've got the one that goes to the second metacarpal is which muscle? Again, it's a muscle on this side, so what action does it do? And then it's more on this side, so what's the second name? And then it comes from up a little bit higher, so it's longer, and it goes to the second. So it's extensor carpi radialis longus. And the one that comes from the lateral epicondyle, which is a little bit shorter, it's still on the radial side, it's still an extensor, so it's extensor carpi radialis what?
Brevis.
Brevis. Okay? Then we got the ones in the middle that go here. So those would be what? Extensor digitorum. And we don't have to call it longus or brevis because it's the only one kind of extensor to the digits on the backside except for the middle finger. I mean the index finger. Then we've got one coming here that's going more towards this side. So again, what action does it do? Extensor. What bone is it closer to? Well, this one is close to this one. Extensor carpi. I mean, well, yeah, those could have carpals, but it's near on the ulnar side, so it's extensor carpi ulnaris. Okay, so you got two radius. One's longest, one's brevis, goes to the second and third metacarpal. In the middle, you got the ones that go to the fingers, so extensor digitorum. And you got the one going over here to this side. Extensor carpi ulnaris. So then this one is, it's not really shown it, I guess, but this would be extensor radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis, and then what's this one? Extensor carpi ulnaris. Okay, so now look at the person's eyes next to your ears. Are they starting to get a little clearer now?
Oh, they're cleared up.
They feel enlightened and their chi is flowing and everything. That's not bad for a Friday night, okay? So then I think when I was reading some of those other review things, and one of them said more costumes. So what do you think next week is?
Oh, yeah.
So, does that give you a hint? So I'm going to be wearing a costume. If you want to wear one, that's fine, but the people have asked for it, right?